Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. Today we have managed to get a very established former England cricketer, Mr. Monty Panesar, in our podcast. And we are very glad to host you today, sir. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good, and thank you for having me on your podcast.
No problem, sir. I think so. Now, I think we should directly speak about the topic. I think you also made your test debut against India, right, in 2006, if I'm not wrong. I was doing some research and it was in India, and your first test wicket was, I think, so Mohammad Kaif. So, how is the vibe when India plays England in test cricket? How is everything?
Yeah, look, I think we always know India-England Test series are always going to be very competitive. India play with a much higher intensity, and over the recent years, they've produced some fast bowlers, which uh, makes them very competitive away games, especially against England in England as well. So when the conditions are overcast, they've got the bowlers who can swing the ball and seam the ball as well. So
Right.
that never used to happen 10, 15 years ago. So the reason India competes against England is because they've got a good bunch of fast bowlers.
Right. And it reminds me of India's last tour of England, in which Jasprit Bumrah was actually the highest wicket taker, which was the 2-2 draw against England in England. And Jasprit Bumrah was the highest wicket taker. So I think you make the point when you say that India have also started producing some really good pace lineup. And in this squad also, if you have seen the squad which was announced yesterday, Deep Singh is there. What are your views about him, sir? He's a left-hander, a pace bowler. What do you think about him?
Yeah, look, I think Arshdeep Singh is a really good option for India because he's done well when he played for Kent. He knows the conditions, how to bowl in England. And as a left arm seamer, there always poses a major threat in Test cricket. We've seen that with all the other left arm seamers that have been playing international cricket. So I think it's a very good move by India to have him playing, especially on conditions that suit his style of bowling. He's going to pitch the ball up, he's going to look to see if there's any swing early doors. And I think that left arm option is going to pose a threat for the England batsmen. So I think it's a very good option that India have chosen Ashdeep Singh on this tour.
But is he a right away starter for you? Should he start from the first test? Like looking at this is a debut test series and which is against England in England. Will he start for you in the first match for India?
Well, I think that's a very good option to have for Gotham Gambhir to actually consider should Ashdeep Singh start. And they may have to look at the data. They may have to think what are the top six batters of England like against the left arm seam. And if
Right.
that data presents an argument for Gotham Gambhir to think, well, guys, there's a weakness in this top six in England batting lineup. There could be two or three batters who struggle against the left arm seam. So I think, in my opinion, if you're going to have Ashdeep Singh on tour, he needs to play the first Test match because it's his first debut tour. If he gets it right, suddenly that poses a threat to this England team because they're not being used to the left arm seam
Yeah.
option. So I think it Arshdeep Singh should open the bowling for India.
For India, right. And with Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj, I think he'll be a good match. But coming to the elephant in the room now, before the England series, two biggest players, Rohit and Virat, announced their retirement from Test cricket. What are your views about it? Do you think it's a major boost for England, or do you think their form was not good any which way and they wouldn't have harmed England?
Well, I think the Australia tour was probably the option for the selectors to think, well, I think maybe Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are past their best. And
Yeah,
especially on bouncier, faster pitches, I think the Indian batsmen are accustomed to that style of pitches much quicker than possibly the seaming, swinging conditions. So they're probably thinking, we can't afford to have another tour like Australia in England. You know, we need Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to fire. And they're probably thinking, on a tour that is going to be difficult for the batsman, it's probably a good opportunity to give the youngsters a go. And we remember, when Saurav Ganguly, Rahul Dravid, during the tour of 96, they both got hundreds. It was the start of their career. It
yeah,
defined their careers of, how great they became for Indian cricket. And I feel it's that similar mode. We're in that similar situation during the time of, that 1996 tour. It's a similar feel. unknown batsman, don't know who's going to be the next diamond, who's going to be
Yeah.
the next superstar of Indian cricket. But you always find that during a tour of England, you always find the next superstar of Indian cricket. So I think they've done the right choice. They
That's how
feel
we
that
found.
it's time to
Yeah.
move on, time to find the next youngster coming through Indian cricket.
Okay, but do you think, like you rightly said, that's how we found Rishabh Pant also in some of our tours in Australia. We found a rising star of Indian Test cricket. We saw that what he can do. But do you think that it will play any hand to give more confidence to the English side, considering that Virat is not there in the team right now?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that England bowlers would be much happier that they are not bowling against Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. And it is a little bit of a surprise that they two of them retired at the very similar time. So it
Yeah.
leaves a massive hole in the Indian batting lineup. But Indian batsmen are, there's so much talent coming through. So they will fill that gap up very quickly. And that's
Mm.
how strong Indian cricket is. But as an English bowler, yes, I'll be much happier bowling to a young Indian
Yeah.
batsman than a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma. Because the
But
simple fact is that they're experienced batsmen. They've played
yeah.
in India and in England, and they know the conditions against England. So I feel that as an English bowler, I would still be slightly nervous knowing that there's Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma in the team. But for Brendan McCullum and Ben Stokes, I think they'll be much more happier knowing that this is a young Indian team. And I think they'll be probably a bit more confident going into this test series.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. The mindset changes when you don't see senior players like Ashwin not being there or Rohit and Virat not being there suddenly in the style. But I think you also follow IPL and looking at these players who are in the team, they're very fearless. They are, I think they can match the baseball style of England, right? So will that also play a part in England? Looking at these fearless cricketers going and playing their almost most of them like Sai Sudarshan, Abhimanyu, Ishwar, and there is a new captain, Shubman Gill, which I want to speak to you about later. But don't you think a young set of batters who have nothing to lose but everything to prove will also play a massive part in the English soil?
Well, I think that's the exciting challenge, isn't it? Is that do the Indian batsmen compete with the English batters and actually try and, say that we play the baseball better than the English batters?
Yeah,
And that's a great challenge. And that would be so exciting to see that the young Indian batsmen go up 4 5s and over. They go very aggressive. They're very positive in their mindset. And they're actually saying, well, if you guys are going to be aggressive against us, so can we. That's a good option to have. And I think the test series will be super exciting if that happens.
super exciting.
But
Yeah,
also Indian young batters, it's their first tour. There'll be a lot about young, nervous energy going around. And I believe that they must also play with what's suited best for their game and not chase what England are doing, because that could
correct.
easily backfire where then England want that. England want the young batters to be super aggressive so they can bowl India out very cheaply. But there'll be passages of play. There'll be passages of play where there isn't overcast conditions. It's sunshine. There's not a blade of grass on the wicket. And Indian
Yeah.
batsmen will say, let's do baseball now. Let's go and 5 6 7 runs per over for the next session. I think that'll be super exciting to see
But
these
do you
young
think
batters take on the English bowlers like that.
correct? But do you think that bowlers are going to have a huge part in the English in this upcoming tour? Because like under baseball, we have seen that the pitches are almost flat. Because I think Baz and your captain Ben Stokes as well, they like to score more runs. And but do you think that the bowlers will come to play any part if the conditions are not overcasted?
Well, I think in England, the reason they are flat pitches is because on when there's overcast conditions, the ball starts moving in the air. You get the
Yeah.
odd seam movement. So if you're already going to produce slightly green wickets, I think that it favors the bowlers too much. And then it takes the essence out of the entertainment in Test cricket, which we love baseball. We love that style of cricket. So I
Okay.
think in England would want the test matches to go into the fourth and the fifth day because they get more excited by producing exciting test matches than easy wins.
Hmm.
So Ben Stokes, Brendan McCullum, they would want to like score 450 in a day. and then try and do it again and try and then produce, very attacking fields with the seamers and the spinners, trying to put Indian batsmen under pressure. But then India must counterattack. They mustn't go in their shell. This is
Yeah.
their opportunity for these Shubnam Gill and his team to actually show we are going to then be ultra aggressive. And that's what I think will make this test series very exciting. So
Yeah.
I hope India embrace the challenge, come out super positive, super aggressive, because I think it would be brilliant for test cricket.
Absolutely. And since the time Ben Stokes became the captain, McCallum became English coach, the Test cricket have actually become very, very interesting. We always say, like, as Indian, we always say that Virat Kohli revived Test cricket, at least for India. It can be same said for England and the baseball format. Okay, now you mentioned that it's Shubman Gill's Test team, right? And but hands down, Bumrah is the best player in India's current squad. We all see what he did in Australia. Do you also think that Bumrah should have been the captain and not Gill, but or vice versa? What are your opinions about England, India's new captaincy?
Well, I think that in what India have done, they have said we want to start a fresh new team, bring
Yeah,
in youngsters. We want a young captain. We want to build a new Indian team. So with that in mind, I think that's why they've gone with Shubnam Gill. But I thought maybe they should have gone with Jasprit Bumrah because he is still India's best bowler, probably the best test player as well. And I
correct.
think it takes the pressure off Shubnam Gill, who's averaging 36 at the moment. And I think he should average 45 to
Yeah.
50, the talent that he has. So it could go either way. It could mean that Shubnam Gill, you give the responsibility to Shubnam Gill and you see the best of his batting, like we saw the best of Virat Kohli. When he was
Yeah.
captain of India, he actually batted even better. So I think that's what the Indian selectors are hoping, that we see Shubnam Gill bat better with responsibility on his hands.
I think it's also their last bet looking at the Indian selectors, looking at the Indian coach, because we lost the home test series against New Zealand, which cancelled our chances to come in the WTC final. Then we lost against Australia, and now we have this England series where we are going with the youngsters. Do you think this can be a last chance for coach Gautam Gambhir to prove his mettle, or do you think he should get a longer rope, considering that this is a young squad, considering he wanted a change and he got the change? What are your views about Gautam Gambhir and this his future with Indian team?
Well, I think with Gautam Gambhir, he's in a position now. He's in a new, unique position where he's actually starting with a new team. So when you're building a new side, and especially conditions that are not favouring this Indian team, they're going to England on conditions that are not going to be spinning, but probably more swing seam conditions. So it's more likely that India probably will lose the series because of the conditions and young team, right?
Yeah.
But you never know. They may win it, or they may be close test matches. So
Yeah.
I believe that Gautam Gambhir should be given 12 to 18 months, in my opinion, to see and develop this young test team and then review how he's done as a coach. If he had Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli playing on this tour, then I think this is very much about India winning the test series because they've got experience in their
Yeah.
team, but they don't have that experience at the moment. So I think you need to give Gautam Gambhir the chance to develop and nurture this team. So another 12 months, I think, is probably a good idea to think in 12 months' time, where is this Indian team? And has Gautam Gambhir done a really good job?
Okay. So are you impressed with the style of Gautam Gambhir's coaching till now? Like, have you followed his coaching? Because we won the Champions Trophy as well, right? But in Test cricket, I think so we have gone down. But in ODIs and T20 format, I think we have built a stronger team right from Rahul Dravid's era. So are you impressed with the way Gautam? I'm sure that you might have also played against him during your playing days. So do you see any changes in him being a coach and a player?
Well, I think Gautam Gambhir is a very much, a disciplinary,
Yeah.
taskmaster. I think he likes that style of the coaching rather than maybe being a bit more relaxed and laid back kind of person, or a motivator. Ravi Shastri was more of a motivator for the team, lift their spirits and motivate them to perform really well. So I think Gautam Gambhir has to now work out with his young team what's the style of coaching works, with the youngsters? How can I get them to play fearless cricket? How can I get them to play aggressive cricket? But also then there's moments in time, how do we keep the momentum with us? Or when there's a pressure of test cricket, how do we then, when the England will be bowling really well on swinging conditions, how do we make sure we don't lose loads of wickets in clusters? There'll be passages of play where he will be challenged as a coach. So I think he's still finding his way. You've got to give him time. You can't just, at the moment, judge him as a coach on few results. You've got to bear in mind, he's a young coach. Now he's got the opportunity to build a young team. He may want to do it his way with no interference of experienced players. So I think he's got to be given a bit of an opportunity. England tour, I think, is unfair to judge him. I think the next tour in India on spinning conditions is where you really judge Gautam Gambhir as a cricket coach.
Right. And as we know, Gautam Gambhir, I'm sure that his view will also be on the aggressive side of it to win the test series. And I think this has been much more interesting nowadays that every team wants to win the test series, right? And I think English players also wanted to prove something. That's why most of them backed out from the IPL as well. For example, Harry Brook. Do you think that this England side will be prepared when India will come and for the new WTC cycle? Do you think they will be prepared going against this India? Okay, so we might be having an underwhelming batting side, but our bowling is still experienced, right? India's bowling still has Bumrah, still has Shreyas, still has Prasidh. We have Jadeja, we have Kuldeep. So do you think the batters will be ready? Ben Stokes coming from an injury, and now he has said that he has also quit drinking for a long time. So do you think this side will be ready when the Indian bowlers will come?
Well, I think this England team is ready. You look at the way they performed against Zimbabwe. The young bowlers came in. Ben Stokes looks ready. He took a couple of wickets. He's going to bowl during the passages of play where he makes a difference and probably be 10 to 15 overs per test match. But he would want to take a wicket, make an impact. And Ben Stokes, it looks back at his best. We saw him how he bowled against Zimbabwe. He bowled really well. And the young bowlers are doing well. Sam Cook, Josh Tongue, they've really, embraced to the challenge because of the environment that Brendan McCullum has set. The batters are looking good. But we also got to bear in mind it's the Zimbabwe team. It's not India's bowling lineup. And we always know that Zach Crawley, Ollie Pope, they struggle against good attacks. So I think the true assessment of their test career is also going to be questioned against the Indian fast bowlers, which they're going to be ultra aggressive. They will got the skills to seam it, to swing it, and I think they're going to be in your face. So that's the one thing I would like this Indian team to do is carry on the legacy of Virat Kohli. The way he played test cricket, I would like to see the young Indian team play like that.
Do you think that these set of players, do you see anyone becoming the next Virat Kohli for India? Do you see that not only in terms of batting, but like you said, the aggressive style of play, like the way he used to dominate other players in their own home ground? Do you think any of these players have it in them? Do you see any of them?
Yeah, there's some really good youngsters in the team at the moment. And, one particular batsman is the Surrey player. He played for Surrey as an overseas. Sai Sudarshan, he looks very aggressive. He looks fearless. He's a player who's done well in English conditions and he's done well for Surrey. So I think he could be the next superstar of Indian cricket and take on that role, what Virat Kohli had did at number 4.
Oh, but I think Shubman Gill is going to play at number 4 and Sai Sudarshan, these guys will make Sai Sudarshan bat as an opener. Okay. Now that Virat Kohli has retired from Test cricket, where do you see himself in the Fab 4 list amongst Test batters? Do you think where is his position at this moment from your point of view?
Well, I think he's done very well in Test cricket. He's done well in T20, and his strongest format is ODI.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I think, and the intensity and the energy he's played, he's probably up there, isn't he? He's the one that a lot of teams discuss. A lot of teams know that the intensity, the energy, the showmanship. So it's not about the runs. It's about his character as well. And he has this character about him where you look at, there's a few cricketers in the world where you say Viv Richards, Shane Warne, Imran Khan, you were just watchable cricketers. Virat Kohli's in that frame
Yeah.
of cricketers as well. He's very watchable. Your eyes are always on him. What is he
Or
doing? How is he creating the energy, the intensity he's bringing in? So from that point of view, I believe that Virat Kohli is a top one in that Fab Four.
yeah. So he's still the greatest amongst it, no matter that he didn't touch 10,000 runs in cricket. But like you spoke, he has a different aura when it comes to a set of cricketer. It doesn't just mean him playing, but he makes the sport much better for all of us from the point of view from where we see it. Okay, so last question before we move to the quiz and the interesting real part of it. Shreyas Iyer has not been included in India's squad, and there has been a lot of ruckus about it in Indian Twitter, at least in Indian cricket circuit, that why Shreyas Iyer was not there. Experts like Suresh Raina have also asked the question, like why Shreyas Iyer is not in the team where he has won literally everything in the last 1 year. He has also managed to get Punjab into the qualifier stage after 11 years. So do you think that India missed a trick by not taking Shreyas Iyer in the team, in the squad?
Well, I believe they haven't missed a trick. I think that he is very good player subcontinent pitches. And I think his technique is very much suited on flat pitches. He's dominant. He'll score really well. He averaged 64 in Ranji Trophy. He's very good. I think when it comes to test matches in India, he should be considered. And maybe on pitches that are spinning pitches like Sri Lanka or possibly even Australia, bouncy, fast pitches. But I think the seaming swing conditions, I believe he's vulnerable. I don't think he has the technique for that. And I think that's one of the reasons they felt that technically he would be
Mm.
found out. And his numbers are up there, but on conditions, flat spinning pitches, I think he's a superstar. But when it comes to seaming swinging conditions, I just don't think he has a technique. He doesn't play the ball late. He doesn't have the soft hands. He has quick hands. He doesn't move his feet much. He's got brilliant hand-eye coordination. And that sort of technique is suited for bouncier, fast pitches, seaming conditions, swing conditions. I think you'll get found out.
Okay. So I think, like you said, that the Indian selectors played the conditions, not that they're questioning his caliber or something like this, but the condition in England might not fit for Shreyas Iyer is what you're saying is what they might be also thinking. Okay, so we'll move to the next set of questions where I'll ask you, there'll be a rapid fire round where I'll ask you a few questions and you can answer whatever you feel is right. And even if you don't want to answer, we'll be fine with it. Like if you want to stay out of any controversy, we are. Okay, can I start?
Yes.
Okay. So Gill or Brooks, the better future in Test cricket, according to you?
Yeah, Gill. Gill is definitely the future for Test cricket. And I really hope his numbers get better since once as he's been appointed the captain of India.
Okay, very interesting answer. Anderson or Bumrah, who is the better bowler in Test cricket?
Anderson, in my opinion, I think the way he's done in all conditions, I think he's a better bowler.
Okay. Kohli or Root, better cricketer, better batter?
I would say Kohli. I think Kohli is a better batsman. Just the fact that what he brings on the table as his
More
character and his aura, I think
correct.
because of that, I'll go with Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli. Okay. Who do you think has been the greatest Indian batter ever?
Sachin Tendulkar, I think we know that. I think he is the greatest Indian batsman. I think he kind of took on what Sunil Gavaskar did for Indian cricket and then took it to the next level. He
Do
is
you
the
think
greatest Indian
someone?
batsman.
Do you think someone managed to match or take on Sachin Tendulkar's legacy ahead? Do you think anyone
But
from the
probably the
Indian?
closest one I'll say are two cricketers, MS Dhoni and Virat Kohli, matched the same level of popularity, the
Yeah.
demeanor, then also the ability to match and the talent on the
Correct.
field as well. Probably them two have come the closest to Sachin Tendulkar.
Makes sense. And who is the greatest Indian Test bowler according to you?
Well, I think Anil Kumble is probably up there as one of the greatest,
Yeah.
bowlers. I would also say Jasprit Bumrah. His numbers stack up as a seamer. Harbhajan Singh. Again,
Right.
the champion bowler. So yeah, I'll say them three.
Okay. One Indian bowler you loved bowling against, like you were like, okay, this is a easy wicket for me, or anything in terms of banter as well. One Indian bowler you loved bowling
Well,
against.
yeah, look, the Tendulkar was always going to be, hard work because he's just a brilliant, brilliant batsman. Virender Sehwag was dangerous, but you always felt
Right,
you could get a wicket, and because of his attacking nature. VVS Luxembourg was hard. I think
right,
he just had such ability to play the same ball in two different areas. Like he wasn't too sure how you're going to get him out.
right.
And I found it difficult against Ganguly as well because he had a very long stride, but also he had,
So you loved the challenge. That's why
yeah, the
you're saying,
challenge. I think he was
yeah,
more the challenge against the great Indian batters. That was
batters.
more I loved.
Okay, and one Indian batter you didn't like bowling against. Like you're like, if I bowl against him, he's going to play me or whack me for a six. Is there any batter? Sorry.
Well, I think there's a few batsmen. I think it's the left-handers I struggle against because they
Okay.
just whack you out of the ground. So like Yuvraj Singh, he's a
Hmm.
brilliant batsman. I would always find it difficult to bowl to him because he won't give anything away in his bat swing. And then you bowl the normal delivery, that delivery will go for six and you'll defend it as well. So I found it very difficult to um, read the body language of Yuvraj
Hmm.
Singh because it would be the
UV.
same. And I think he'd be a very good poker player. You couldn't work out if he's in aggressive or defensive mode,
Yeah.
but he was a brilliant, batsman. And yeah, I found him very difficult.
Yeah, he was a brilliant batsman, and I think probably one of the greatest left-handed batsmen to play the sport as well. Okay, final question about this segment. Your prediction for the series. What do you think? Who is going to win and by which margin?
I think it'd be 2-1. England will win. I think it'd be a tighter test series than we think. I think because of the exuberance of the Indian and youth, they're very fearless, and the conditions, June, July time, it's going to be warm. So I think we're going to see some fantastic test cricket. It won't be one-sided, but I think England have the edge.
Okay, great. Okay, next segment. I'll give you two names. You have to pick one. It will be between all-time greatest Test cricketers. Okay. Okay. Kevin Peterson or Kumar Sangakkar.
Kevin Peterson.
Peterson or Cook.
Peterson.
Peterson or Jack Callis.
Jack Callis.
Okay. Jack Callis or Ricky Ponting.
Ricky Ponting.
Ricky Ponting or Kane Williamson.
Ricky Ponting.
Ricky Ponting or Virender Sehwag.
Ricky Ponting.
Ricky Ponting or Rahul Dravid.
Good one. I'll make it with Rahul Dravid.
Okay. Finally, Rahul Dravid or Steven Smith.
Stephen Smith.
Oh, Steven Smith or Brian Lara.
Brian Lara.
Okay. Brian Lara or Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin or Virat.
Sachin.
Sachin or Joe Root.
Sachin.
Okay. Okay, fine. I think Sachin is your ultimate test batter. Moving on to the next segment. I'll just give you random names and names of cricketers, and you have to just rate them out of 10. And these are current cricketers or cricketers who have just retired, not the legends. So, starting with Shubman Gill.
8.
Okay. Harry Brook.
9.
Okay. Yashasvi Jaiswal.
7.
7. Kane Williamson.
9.
Rohit Sharma.
7.
Okay. Rishabh Pant.
10.
Rishabh Pant 10. Okay. Steven Smith.
8.
8. Okay. Travis Head.
9.
Virat Kohli.
9.
Joe Root.
8.
Okay. So Rishabh Pant is 10 and ahead for you in terms of batting.
In
While
terms, yeah, because he will change a game
yeah,
in a session and he'll
right.
play ridiculous shots and he has the courage to do it. So, as well as the runs, is what else you bring as a character, as a person. That's why I think Rishabh Pant just has that X factor.
Right. I think you like the new world of cricket where baseball is there. You like these decisive players to come and show you how it can be done. Like Test cricket is
Yeah,
not just about saving
impact
the day.
players.
Impact, more impact, more impact. Yeah, I think everyone who is watching Test cricket now likes to see these kind of batters more. I think that's why India has got Nitish Kumar Reddy, all these players in the team who can go and just, create an impact in the series. Okay, last segment of our interview. What is your all-time India-England combined test level?
Virender Sehwag, Alistair Cook, Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, Kevin Peterson, Ben Stokes, Andrew Flintoff, Zahir Khan, Anil Kumble, Harbhajan Singh, Jimmy Anderson.
Jimmy Anderson. Okay. And who will be your captain?
Alistair Cook.
Alistair Cook. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. You have been a great sport. Thank you for answering all our questions. We hope that we take your interview sometime soon after the series or in between the series whenever you're free. Thank you again for joining us, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.